When the Ecoboost V6-powered F-150 was introduced, it went against everything we thought we knew about pickup engines. Conventional wisdom said that trucks need thirsty, big cubic-inch V8 engines to be taken seriously. Nobody really knew what the twin-turbo 3.5-liter Ford engine could do. Now we know. Today, the V6 twin-turbo F-150 is putting V8 owners to shame with horsepower, torque, durability, and fuel economy that the naturally aspirated 5-liter can't compete with. And we're about to show you how you can make your truck that much better.
The Ecoboost F-150 in stock form is really an amazing truck. 365 horsepower from a 3.5-liter twin-turbo motor, and it gets over 20 miles a gallon, tows well, and there's a lot more power to be made from them. All of the Ecoboost motors from the factory are very conservative. Just a tune can net you about 1 horsepower for every $10 you spend. In this case, we're using a SCT Livewire TS, which is a new touchscreen tuner, which optimizes spark, air-fuel ratios, and adds a little bit of boost.
I've towed trailers up to 10,000 pounds with this Ecoboost, and going up hills, it seems like it needs a little bit of extra power, and that's where the Livewire is going to help it out a lot.
All in all, you get an 87, 91, and 93 octane tune that is still very conservative and is good for everyday driving.
We'll be using the Livewire TS to install a tune into this Ecoboost F-150 to show you just how easy and effective the system is. But before we do, we're going to be using one of the SCT Livewire TS's features to measure the truck's stock performance. Here on this closed road, we'll use the Livewire TS to measure the time it takes for our unmodified F-150 to make a 0 to 60 miles per hour run. According to the Livewire TS, the 0 to 60 took 7.25 seconds. Along with the baseline dyno run, these numbers will let us measure just how much of an improvement SCT's performance tune can make later. This rolling road chassis dynamometer will directly measure horsepower and torque to the rear tires. With our stock Ecoboost F-150 strapped to the roller, we measured 311 horsepower and 358 pound-feet of torque. Impressive numbers from just 3.5 liters of boosted V6. But let's see what we can do with the Livewire TS.
The Livewire TS tuner optimizes air-fuel ratios, increases timing, and also increases a little bit of boost. This is where you get your power. Outside of the Livewire TS being a tuning device, you can also scan diagnostic trouble codes. It's got a performance calculator and even live gauge displays. The gauge displays are cool because you can actually put a boost gauge on the screen, coolant temp and air temp, so you don't need any external gauges at all. Inside these tunes, you can even have more custom functions, which can change rear gear ratio, you can change tire diameter, you can change shift points between each gear, speed limiter, and even overall shift RPM. We're very familiar with SCT tuners in the Power Automedia garage, and the Livewire TS makes it even easier with its full touchscreen display. And in about 10 minutes, we have this thing tuned up and ready to go.
The Livewire TS easily plugs in underneath the dash in the factory diagnostic port. This diagnostic port allows the Livewire TS to upload a high-performance tune, return it back to completely stock form, or any variance in between. After your tune was uploaded, the drivability of the vehicle remains the same, but with a lot more power, and you're able to have a lot better fuel economy. On our performance testing in the Livewire program, we shaved almost a full second off of our 0 to 60 times. We made multiple runs on the 0 to 60, and all of our numbers came back almost identical. Driving the Ecoboost around town, before we had done any tuning or anything like that, it still seemed like it was missing something, but that's where the Livewire comes in and will change that for us.
You know, I got to drive this truck before we did the tune on it, and I have to tell you, it felt powerful. You know, it was Ecoboost truck. It's driven it before. It's you know, they're fun to drive, but when you put the tune in it and then you go drive it again, it's borderline unbelievable how much just a tune will do for this truck. I mean, you can feel the power just push you back in the seat as you're accelerating. It makes more boost. The power delivery is a lot more smooth, but it still drives normal. I mean, I can just drive it down the road here and it idles and runs just fine. Nothing crazy. Gets good gas mileage still, and still can tow with it. And this is with the 91 octane tune and a 93 octane tune for you guys out east. Even more horsepower to be found. So I have to say, really impressed what SCT's done with this 91 octane tune for the Ecoboost F150s. So we took out the Ecoboost F150 for some 0 to 60 times. Before, it netted 7.25 seconds, and after, 6.61 seconds, consistently dropping 0.64 seconds off that 0 to 60 time. On our Dyno-jet chassis dyno, our aft numbers were 345.85 horsepower and 454 pound-feet of torque, a gain of 34.05 horsepower and 95.9 pound-feet of torque. Huge power increases from a box stock 91 octane tune.
With the SCT Livewire TS tuner, we saw nearly 100 additional foot-pounds of torque at the rear wheels on 91 octane gas, totaling over 500 foot-pounds of torque on a turbo V6, and all in less than 10 minutes without even getting our hands dirty. With better than 20 miles to the gallon in day-to-day driving, we've proven that it's possible to have the best of both worlds: stump-pulling power and gas-sipping economy.